Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, Principal Atmospheric Scientist at Nutrient Ag Solutions, and I want to thank you for watching this weekly AgWeather update brought to you by the Farm Credit Associations of North Carolina. Well, we got to start here by looking at the last 30 days in terms of the departure from normal for precipitation. And what we can clearly see is that much of the Carolinas, getting all the way down into much of the southern states, have actually been drier than average, except for parts of Florida and then on the other side of the Appalachian Mountains. And that's what I want to talk about. This region right in through here has been exceptionally wet, picking up between a 5 and 8 inch surplus of rainfall. And why I want to discuss this is that the pattern that set us up into those really wet conditions in the Ohio River Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and then getting down into the mid and lower Mississippi River Valley will be translating east, moving to the east, and that's important for us to understand in the Carolinas. Now, right now, we've already got 274 of our river gauges that are either near or at or above flood stage. You can see that a lot of the coastal gauges there along the east coast are reporting near or above flood stage, but it's this region right in through here that has been extremely wet and is going to continue to see these problems for quite some time. I am concerned over the next several weeks about major river valley flooding. I'm talking about any river that kind of feeds into the Mississippi is going to be having some major issues. Well, what's been making them so wet will be moving to the east, and this is what we're talking about. Right now, the flow of the jet stream to start off this week is really set up into this split flow pattern. And it's a very long wave pattern, okay? With this broader trough feature sitting here in this ridge that extends up into Alaska. Now that broader pattern is going to do this. It's going to help feed a lot of tropical moisture into the southeast. And this area where the jet stream kind of pushes through, I'm concerned about for major flooding and a lot of precipitation over the coming days. Really tucked back here in the Tennessee Valley, but it will extend to the east at times. That will be where our main frontal boundary will sit. Now, by the way, the winds that you see in the background there from Texas to New York at times are over 230 miles an hour. So this is a powerful jet streak, and we got to pay attention to it. Now, just looking at over the next 7 days, let's look at total precip over here first. We can see that this area is expected to pick up, look at what I've got encompassed there, is expected to pick up between an inch and in some locations on the other side of the mountains here, possibly 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. But look for the Carolinas. As you move toward the west, the rainfall amounts are certainly increasing, and you're going to see why in a few minutes. I am concerned about on Tuesday and Wednesday morning for the potential for some higher elevation snow here, and also we're going to be setting up a bit of a cold air damming event, which may make me concerned about some ice potential for Tuesday and Wednesday, but we'll see that in just a few seconds. But this is our broader picture over the next week for rainfall on the left and snowfall over there on the right. Now, what's got us all set up with this is the overall flow of the jet stream. So I'm going to take you up to about 500 millibars. So that's, we're getting up pretty high in the atmosphere, better than 3 miles. We're going to watch the flow of the jet stream. That's those faster winds. Now, what I just drew for you there is a long wave. Now, what we're going to be seeing with this pattern is this dominant area of higher atmospheric pressure, both in the mid-levels and at the surface, pumping plenty of moisture, soaking this area, okay? Now, what I want you just to visualize with me when I play this is the dominance of that long wave continuing to flow just like you saw, with plenty of moisture coming up like this. Ready? Look, we just keep seeing that same pattern move. And it doesn't break down. I got you all the way out here into the end of February. The last day of February, we still see those same features. Now, why that's important? Well, watch each one of these systems move through. Starting us off early Monday morning, we were getting some rain. You remember the rain that was going across parts of the Carolinas. Well, things cleared out throughout the day on Monday, but then on Tuesday, we saw our next system emerge in the central U.S. Now, look at this. The concern at this stage is that due to the dominance of higher atmospheric pressure sitting here, this is at the surface, we might sneak enough cold air, damming it up against the mountains here for the potential for a wintry mix, maybe some ice, some sleet, and some freezing rain for this area. Again, this will be short-lived as the warmth kind of pushes in behind it, but still, I think we have a legitimate concern here for overnight Tuesday night into Wednesday morning as seeing some ice potential along the Appalachian Mountains. So we're going to keep a close eye on that, and then snow farther to the north of that location. Okay, that's our first system. What are we doing after that? Well, just to show you, by the way, the high-resolution NAM model is picking up on heavier snowfall amounts getting up into Virginia, but we're not seeing them much in parts of North Carolina. What we will see out of this, though, is quite a bit of rainfall. Remember, I told you the transition will be east to west for the heavier amounts. We can see up along the coasts here, not so much over the next 3 days, but certainly as we get back into the interior parts of both North and South Carolina, we'll see a progression from a ½ inch all the way up in some locations to maybe over 2 inches as you get into higher elevation. That's just getting you through early Wednesday morning. Now after that, the wetter pattern that we saw return on Tuesday sticks around for quite some time. Remember, we're watching that cold air damming event for Tuesday and Wednesday morning. But what I want you to see is this third bullet point up there. Overall, we stay in this warm, wet sector of the next few low pressure systems, and our Gulf of Mexico stays wide open. So as we play this forward, here's the system we just talked about, okay? Watch it again. There it emerges Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. See the pink in there in parts of Virginia, North Carolina? That's our concern about the cold air damming event. Then look, you're just going to see multiple chances. I'm all the way up to Thursday afternoon. Friday, next system emerges in the central United States. You just see chances of rain every day until probably the system that comes through over the weekend clears everything out temporarily. So we've got chances of rain pretty much from Tuesday all the way through the end of this week. So it's certainly going to be a wet week when we put it all together. All right, what about temperatures? Well, because the longer flow of the atmosphere looks like this, we will stay warmer than average quite a bit over the southeast. But remember, it might be a little warmer than average, but it will be wet. All the cold air stays tucked into that trough. And so you see here, we get these brief warm-ups out ahead of these low-pressure systems, but they're coming in wet. And we start to see slowly that trough feature tries to slide a little bit to the east with time. It looks as though as we get into March, our chances of really seeing sustained, well above average temperatures are not really mixed. But it's not going to be a cold pattern for the Carolinas over the coming weeks. Wet, but not necessarily cold. All right. From there, let's just take a quick global tour. Right now, much of the action is going on here to the east of Australia. So we have a tropical system just south of the equator. The equator is in through here. You can even see some tropical activity to the north of that. Now, why bring that up? Well, this is the region where what we call phase 8. I'll kind of put a number over it. This is phase 8 of the Madden-Julian oscillation. So if we're sitting over in this area, you can see that we're going to be moving, because remember, this kind of moves in this counterclockwise fashion like this. We're moving over toward phases 1 and 2. Now, what's the significance of that? Well, we're talking about producing weather events in other places around the world that affect Carolina ag. And so I'm going to take you first to what's going on here in with this safrinha, or second crop, coming out of parts of Brazil. We're seeing a wetter pattern. That's because phase 8, 1, and 2 are supportive of a stronger Brazilian monsoon. So as this cotton crop is going in and corn crop is going in, things are looking wetter than average again after being very, very dry. Where's it getting dry? Down here in Argentina. And also very hot in Argentina. So we're talking about a corn and soybean crop in Argentina that could be seeing some heat and drought stress. It's temporary, though. Remember, this was very wet going into this. And also just to show you Australia, because much of the convection or thunderstorm activity, including the tropical stuff, is happening to the east of the continent. We are overall seeing a drier pattern evolving over the next 15 days for much of Australia. So I just want to kind of take you on a quick global outlook here. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this forecast video. We at Nutrien Ag Solutions want to thank you for watching, and we hope you look forward to our next forecast video coming out next week. Thank you.